Madam Speaker, as per the 2023 schedule of the education calendar, my office has ensured that the overall progression of the administrative key priorities within my ministry and the department were implemented as planned. Madam Speaker, this ministerial statement will give this House an overview of the the grade 12 selections to tertiary institutions in 2023 for 2024. Additionally, it will provide an overview of the fields of study that students were assisted under the ABG School Fees Assistance Program in 2023. Madam Speaker, the education budget performance in 2023 against our plans and priorities will also be provided in this ministerial statement. The challenges of the ministry and department, as well as the 2024 priorities, will also be outlined. Selections to tertiary institutions. Madam Speaker, the grade 9 and 11 selections were already presented in the 2023 December ministerial statements. I will therefore just report on the grade 12 selections to tertiary institutions. Madam Speaker, as per the directive given by the President, Honorable Ismail Toroma, in 2021, which called for improved results in grade 12, the ABG has followed this with funding of 100,000 allocated in last year's development budget. Thus, the grade 12 academic improvement program is an intervention to implement the President's directives to support teaching and learning in secondary schools for improved grade 12 results. Madam Speaker, in 2023, a total of 669 grade 12 students in the region set the grade 12 national examinations. Out of this number, 200 of the students were selected to continue on to tertiary institutions. Honorable members, if you can calculate this, this is roughly around 30% of the students that set the national examination that made it into tertiary institutions. Madam Speaker, of the 200 students who were selected to go to tertiary institutions, the highest number of students were selected from Tonu Secondary School, 41. Asitawe Secondary School sent the second highest number of 40 students, followed by Hujana Secondary School with 39 students, and Arawa Secondary with 36 students, followed by Boyne Secondary with 24 students. Only 17 students were selected from Bishop Wade Secondary School, while Runa Secondary School, which is a private and permitted school, was able to send only 3 students. Madam Speaker, from the 200 students selected to tertiary institutions, 127 of them were female and 73 were male students. Honorable members, this is one scenario that it repeatedly appears as though the girls are doing much better than boys. And I think, let me just pause here and express the fact that, all of us, even our community governments, going down to our villages and even into our families, we need to look into all this, because the trend that the education system is going is that girls are doing much better than the boys. So, I'm continuing to reflect on at least you must work him something long, no make him so you may improve him. Madam Speaker, the improved performance of our grade 12 students last year clearly reflects the amount of commitment to education by ABG, the Ministry of the Department of Education, church agencies, our main partners, the school boards, parents, citizens, teachers, students, and other relevant stakeholders. ABG School Fees Assistance Scheme. Madam Speaker, the School Fees Assistance Scheme, which is a policy intervention and priority of the Toroma Ministerial Government, was in its third year of implementation last year. Madam Speaker, the school fees assistance provided to our students in various institutions in the country is an investment by ABG in the human resource development of the region. The benefits of this long-term investment will be realized 10 years from now. Madam Speaker, the information on the amount spent by ABG on school fees assistance, the students assisted by institutions, and the amount of assistance per student was already presented in the 2023 December ministerial statement. Madam Speaker, it is important that ABG knows the type of professions that students are being trained to have a projection of the type of human resource of Bougainville in our preparation for independence. Madam Speaker, I will therefore report on the different fields of study that students were supported by ABG in various tertiary institutions throughout the country and region last year. Madam Speaker, a total of 2,249 students were assisted by the scheme in 2023. Of this number, 190 were university students. Of this number, 190 were university students. In identifying the different common professions or fields that university students were undergoing training in, the following is the data. 3 students will be lawyers, 2 will be economists, 42 will be accountants, 2 will be doctors, 3 will be journalists, 11 will be social workers, 1 will be a political scientist, 3 will be psychologists, 6 will be civil engineers, 1 will be a mining engineer, 2 will be mechanical engineer, 12 will be electrical engineers, 13 will be architects, 7 will be aviation engineers, not a pilot, 4 will be surveyors, and 27 will be agriculture specialists, scientists. Madam Speaker, in terms of technical education training, we need tradesmen. Therefore, 9 students were taking plumbing, 19 taking mechanical, auto, electrical, 17 were taking carpentry building, 8 were taking heavy feeder machine, 12 were taking tourism and hospitality, and 330 taking other trade courses such as carpentry, plumbing, welding, mechanical. Madam Speaker, additionally, the ABG is expecting an output of 123 teachers, 132 nurses, 48 ICT specialists, and 52 business specialists amongst the most common professions. Madam Speaker, the above are the most common fields that students being assisted under the Bougainville School Fees Assistance Scheme were pursuing. There are many other less common fields that could not be all named. Madam Speaker, on this note, I would like to take this time to thank the Autonomous Bougainville government for the funding support of $3 million appropriated for the 2023 School Fees Assistance Program, which assisted 2,249 of our students across 77 institutions throughout the country, including schools in the region. 2023 education budget performance. Madam Speaker, the budget performance for the department against the plans is reported below under the department recurrent budget, development budget, teachers' personal emoluments, and teachers' leave fares. The department recurrent budget. Madam Speaker, this year the amount appropriated for the department recurrent budget was $1,525,000 in total. Of that amount, $500,000 was allocated to the Office of the Secretary, $100,000 each to the Directorates of Policy and Planning and Teaching and Learning, $100,000 to the Bougainville Education Board, $500,000 in school grants to Kalang Service, Flexible Open and Distant Education Fund, UPNG Buka Open Campus and Bougainville Technical College, and $325,000 to the 13 district education officers, $25,000 each per district administrations. Madam Speaker, in terms of expenditure, $471,000, 21 kina and 93 of the $500,000 allocated was expended by the Office of the Secretary. 99,000 of the 100,000 allocated was expended by the Bougainville Education Board. 86,293 kina, 23 toya out of the 100,000 was expended by the Directorate of Policy and Planning. Another 100,000 allocated was fully expended by the Director of Teaching and Learning. 325,000 of all the 13 district education officers was fully expended. Madam Speaker, in terms of unconditional grants of our public authorities, Kalang services were paid their full 100,000, while Bougainville Technical College were also paid their full grant of 100,000. The Ford grant was paid 71,000. The remaining 29,000 will be paid to them when the accounts are open. The UPNG Buka Open Campus grant paid was 75,000. The remaining 25,000 will be paid to them this year. Development budget. Madam Speaker, the total appropriation for the education development budget in 2023 was 5,850,000. Of that amount, 200,000 was allocated to the schools, to the School of Excellence Tonu. 100,000 was allocated to early childhood education. 100,000 for the Aropa Junior High School feasibility study. 100,000 was allocated for the Great Wall Academic Improvement Program. Additionally, Madam Speaker, 500,000 was allocated to the UPNG Buka Open Campus Capacity Building Program. 50,000 was allocated to DHES, 3 million to ABC School Fees Assistance Program. 300,000 was allocated for the Bougainville Schools Examinations Program. 300,000 for Education Policy and Legislation. 100,000 for TSC support. Another 100,000 allocated for inspection support, and 1 million allocated to Torama Agriculture and Livestock Specialized Training Center. Madam Speaker, due to the late release of the development funding last year, much of the development funding is still available to be used this year, except for funding for the school examinations, inspector support, and Torama Agriculture and Livestock Specialized Training Center, 95,000 remaining. Madam Speaker, the Bougainville Teachers College continues to be the department's high-impact project. The project was in its design phase as of December 2023. The contract for the design of the Teachers College was awarded to Federal Drop for a total of 2.9 million kina. The 15 million that is still available from the Prime Minister's commitment will be used for the next development phase of the project, which will be the building utilities, the road, power, water supply prior to the actual construction phase. Teachers' personal emoluments. Madam Speaker, the proposed teachers' personal emoluments for the 2023 was 87.7 million for the 3,511 fully funded positions against an establishment of 3,580 positions. However, an estimated budget of 88.8 million was submitted for the staff strength of 3,005 teachers, while 21,504,300 budgeted for 1,516 elementary school teachers, 54,372,719 for 1,700 primary school teachers, 10 million or 11 million for the 288 high and secondary school teachers, and 2 million for the 68 vocational school teachers. The actual amount appropriated for salaries and allowances in 2023 was 86 million kina. Madam Speaker, in 2024, the total cost for teachers' salaries and allowances will be 113 million kina. This increase in teachers' salaries and allowances was reflected in the budget bid in September last year. However, the estimated budget does not include any of the teachers' outstanding salaries or liabilities for the past years. Teacher leave fares. Madam Speaker, Bougainville continues to do well in terms of the issuance of teachers' leave fares annually. Last year, teachers were able to receive their leave fares prior to the close of the school year. Madam Speaker, the amount appropriated for teachers' leave fares in 2023 was 8,752,000. Of that appropriate amount, a total of 4,016,403 kina fortitoya was used on the total of the 438 teachers. Madam Speaker, of the 438 teachers who received leave fares in 2023, 183 teachers were non-Bougainvilleans who received a total of 3,298,503 kina fortitoya and leave fares, while included sectoral fares. Madam Speaker, a total of 255 Bougainvillean teachers received 717,900 kina in local leave fares. Madam Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the ABG for ensuring our teachers are well taken care of in terms of their leave fares annually, and the 2023 was no exception. Government free tuition fees subsidy. Madam Speaker, the government free tuition subsidy is the national government's intervention policy that addresses access, retention, and affordability. The components of that are included in the GTFS administration, curriculum, and infrastructure. Madam Speaker, in 2023, the national government paid a total of 24.3 million kina in GTSF to 626 of our schools in the region. Of that amount, 2.8 million kina was paid to elementary schools, 11.3 was paid to primary schools, 9,143,989 kina 84 toya to secondary schools, and 1,043,986 to vocational schools. Madam Speaker, 90 of our schools missed out of the free tuition fee payment last year, but have since been paid their free tuition fees in February this year. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the national government for the continued support in paying tuition fees to our schools in the region since 2012. Challenges. Madam Speaker, providing education service delivery comes with its challenges. The major challenges encountered by the department last year were the manpower capacity issues and insufficient funding. Manpower capacity issues. Madam Speaker, the department continues to face manpower capacity issues. Our salary section has only 5 staff against a teacher staff strength of 3,580. This equates to a ratio of 1 to 700, which is why most of the queries that teachers come with to the department are salary related. When the department restructures, more salary staff will be needed to be recruited. Madam Speaker, another area that is incapacitated is the inspections division. With only 6 inspectors looking at 716 schools and 3,580 teachers, the high ratio has really affected inspections, providing advisory and supervisory services to the teachers, consistent monitoring and teacher discipline. Madam Speaker, if some inspectors' positions are put on our department structure, that will help to cushion the problem. Insufficient funding. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the ABG for supporting the Education Ministry and Department through the recurrent and development budgets, teachers' personal emoluments, and teacher leave fares. However, Madam Speaker, let me remind us all that education is an expensive public good, as it is an investment in our human resource. As such, more funding needs to be appropriated to the Education Department annually in order for the policies, plans, programs, and projects to be fully implemented and monitored. Madam Speaker, 2 of the programs that have not been conducted for some years now are induction of new graduates and senior teachers and the district outreach program by the headquarters staff. Funding under the office of the Secretary has decreased in the last 5 years, resulting in the above 2 programs not being carried out. Without scheduled district and school visits, monitoring by headquarters staff, teachers' absenteeism has escalated. Madam Speaker, despite the challenges faced by my ministry, the department, and the schools this year, the department plans, policies, and legislations added in place have continued to provide strategic direction and guidance towards improving the provision of education service delivery in the region. We are optimistic that we have aligned all our efforts to the government's 6-point strategy and expectations We are grateful for the achievements and challenges we have encountered last year, and most importantly, preparing my ministry and department to become independent. Way forward, Madam Speaker, is looking ahead. My ministry and department strategic priorities in 2024 will be Bougainville Education Corporate Plan, 2023-2027, review of the Bougainville Education Act 2013, Bougainville Teaching Service Bill, review of the current education system, early childhood policy, compulsory education policy, school self-reliance policy, Bougainville School Fees Assistance Scheme, Grade 12 Academic Improvement Program, signing of MOU with DHEST, teacher salaries, fixation agreement, elevations, Bougainville Teachers College, Bougainville Polytech Institute, Torama Agriculture and Livestock Specialized Training Center, high school establishment, Aropa, Torokina, Kunua, Siwai, Panguna, Wisai, Pate, and Tonsu Junior High Schools. 16, the Bougainville School of Excellence. 17, Bougainville University Concept. And 18, secondary schools, infrastructure, rehabilitation, and expansion program. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Education has specific plans and policies to pursue educational growth to the next level, and to do so, we need financial support from ABJ and cooperation from our national members, as well as the development partners and parents. Madam Speaker, let me thank the teachers, the Board of Management, the Education Department staffs, the district-based education officers for their commitment and hard work last year in ensuring the provision of education service delivery throughout the region. Madam Speaker, I would also like to thank all the members of the House Representatives for their continuous support to the education sector, whether it is in funding infrastructure in schools, assisting students with school fees, and purchase of equipment for the schools. Honorable members, may I kiss him this time and thank him, you Plaugata. I know from your 1 million kina, you have allocated quite a sufficient amount into our educational institutions. So thank you, Drew. Suppose you put him inside long primary school below you. Suppose you put him inside long Kamapim High School inside long constituency below you or district below you. Me like talk thank you below you. This is the way forward. We Bougainville education, in education we need to make sure that we prepare the independence that we are talking about with the preparation of the human resource that while he can work. Now, make him fully realize in his independence. Madam Speaker, I must also say thank you to our members of parliament at the national level for their support to the ABG education sector through the government tuition fees, subsidy, and development projects. It is my greatest hope that the working relationship will be further strengthened with the same vision and mission in empowering our people in the autonomous region of Bougainville. In this regard, Madam Speaker, I encourage us all as leaders, mandated by our people, to work together, giving equal prominence to all sectors, but at the same time being conscious of what can be achieved when we empower our people through education and training. Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. Thank you.
Leader